This is the My4 High School Basketball Game of the Week.
And winter has hit the capital region along with some snow on this Friday night, but inside East Gymnasium, it's starting to heat up as we've got a showdown game in the Suburban Council on our Game of the Week here on My4 between Shenandoah and the Wolfpack of Colonie. Hi, everybody. Roger Wiley along with my partner, Steve Sgambolori, the longtime LaSalle head coach. And, Steve, this is a rivalry that dates way back, and you can feel it right now. These two teams ready to get this thing going.
You can certainly feel it 5 days before Christmas. This is one of those games where, as a coach, win or lose, you know both teams are going to get better. As the players get into this, it's not going to be that simple, but I expect this could be an explosive game tonight.
Let's start with Colonie, 2-1. Their only loss is a non-conference loss.
What I love about them is this multiple level of defense that they play, that Greg Davis has installed. Really forces you as an offensive team. Once you navigate one part, you might have, Roger, about 20 seconds left to start your offense. That'll be interesting to see how Shen navigates that tonight.
All right, speaking of Shenandoah, they're off to a 3-0 start under head coach Paul Yatta.
And it's typical Shen, balanced, unselfish. They defend, they share the ball. Shen is Shen, and when they're at home, they shoot the ball really well, and their ability to play together has really always been such a super strength of theirs.
All right, if you're Colonie, you got to pay attention to Begad Ibrahim. Averages 18 points a game. He is a 6'4" junior.
Shooting well from the field, shooting well from the three-point line. What I like about him, Raj, when he attacks, it's almost like he's gliding. He's making very, very tough plays look simple, and that's a credit to him. He's talented.
And for the Wolfpack, they go as their starting point guard goes, Peter Tenney.
I love Peter Tenney. I thought he played an exceptional floor game against Columbia a couple weeks ago. Whichever speed he wants to play at is usually the way the game is played, which is a super compliment to him as a young man, as a point guard.
All right, how about the Steve Sgambolori keys to the game here?
Well, I think if you're Colonie, you need more than Luke Seaver and Peter Tenney in double figures. You're going to have to put 3 or 4 guys in doubles tonight. It just feels that way. You're on the road. You're playing a really good and balanced team. And secondarily, you can't allow Shen to find rhythm, especially when they're at home. Rhythm for Shen means a lot of points on the scoreboard.
Should be a good one. Big atmosphere here tonight in East Gym at Shenandoah. When we come back, it'll be the starting lineups and the play-by-play coming up on our Game of the Week from Shenandoah on My4. Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, he just said, yeah. And the clock on the campus of Shenandoah says game time. Here we go. Colonie against Shen. in the much-anticipated matchup, game of the week here on My 4. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. We'll start with Colonie. They will start Andrew Hewitt, 6'5", senior forward. Peter Tenney is a 5'10" senior guard, averaging 16 points a game. Ryan Klaus, 6-foot junior guard forward. And Luke Weaver, a 6'10" junior, averaging 16 points a game, 9.3 rebounds. There you see, and one missing. Julius Samito injured in practice yesterday, tweaked the back, and not starting. And Ethan Peck gets the start in his place tonight. As for Shen, it'll be Christian Morgan, 6'5" senior, along with Sam Borelli, a 5'10" senior guard. Gad Ibrahim, averaging 18 points a game, the 6'4" junior. Jacob Stewart, averaging 16 a game, 6'2" junior, coming off a 25-point performance against Marcellus this season. And Ethan Rudd on the inside, a 6'5" senior, averaging 15 points and 5 rebounds per game. And here we go, Steve Scambolori. And it'll be Rudd, or no, check that, it'll be Morgan, jumping center against Seaver. And we're underway at Shen, and Shen controls the tap. And let's see this defense here that we've been talking about, Steve, for Colonie.
Well, you can see right to the left and right of Seaver, those guys are called bump guys, and look how wide they get. Their role is to just bump out and get back quick.
And already a 3 by Ibrahim, and that's not something that Coach Yatta wants to see a lot of tonight. Wants to work the ball for some better shots, not just settle for the threes. Greg Davis, the head coach in his second year of the Wolf Pack, and last year went to undefeated regular season. Didn't lose until the AAA championship game against Green Tech. Early turnover. And Ibrahim looked like he'd take an extra step there on the inside. He did, and a walking violation is called. And Paul Yatta, in his 4th season, enjoyed spending some time with him yesterday at his practice, and Monday I was at the Colonie practice, going to see both head coaches and how they prepared for tonight's game. Ethan Peck for 3. A little strong. Let's see who the rebound goes off of. It will be Shen ball.
Well, the loss of Samito for Colonie is a big, big loss. So I'm interested. I think that was a great shot by Ethan Peck. I love the early confidence. He's going to have to score some points tonight, I think, for Colonie to really, really have a chance. I mean, that loss of Samito's big. He's athletic, get to the rim, he can score it. So Colonie's got to step up here.
I asked Greg Davis this week, so man-to-man, and he quickly said, no, we're all zone. He said, I got to protect the big guy inside.
Well, you got to score over 6'9". That's hard to do, and I'll tell you, great start there from Ethan Peck there in the corner. I mean, Roger, he's shooting 65% from the floor. That's incredible early on in the season.
Yeah, the big guy there, Ethan Rudd at 6'5", stepping out and knocking down the 3 shot for Shen. Seaver double team down low, lost control of the ball, and a Wolfpack turnover. And here comes Morgan up in transition. What's the best way, Steve, to attack this zone?
Well, the sweet spots of the zone are the middle and the 2-3 and the short corner area. But Colonie does such a good job with those bump guys. They really extend and are aggressive. And why is that? Because if you drive, you got to finish over 6'9".
Morgan goes baseline, reverse layup, no good. But right there is Ethan Rudd. So he does it from the 3 in the corner, and that time he cleans up the missed shot.
I'll tell you, Colonie hasn't really gotten into their 1-2-2 yet. You're seeing that a lot from Shen. And they're doing exactly the same thing. They're slowing the pace down, and now you have 20 seconds on the clock, and you're just getting into your offense.
I mean, the slight height advantage on the boards would go to Colonie tonight. See if they can take advantage of that. Good player on Peter Tenney. We've got a hold on the inside, and that's going to go against Rudd, working against Seaver. And let me tell you something about Luke Seaver. A couple of years ago, you watched him play, and said, okay, that is a project, and we'll see if he can get better. He has gotten so much better. He's dropped some weight, and he's really worked hard at his game. He's a good player.
Well, the evolution of the guard play and the three-point shot has kind of devalued your traditional bigs. And what I like about Seaver, he's a traditional big. He's 6'9". He puts his hands up, Roger. He's close to 10 feet tall. And he did a nice job in the games that I've seen him play. Early on, I was very curious, how are you going to guard him in the post? Looks like Shen's okay playing behind, but they're going to put a lot of bodies and arms around him.
Sam Borelli with the ball, a 5'10" senior. And They certainly have guys that can knock down shots.
Great active hands in the half court here by Colonie.
And there's Borelli talking about knocking down shots. Sam Borelli hits a three, and it's an 8-0 start for Shen on the home court.
Well, if you shoot the ball, you see a zone, your eyes light up like it's Christmas. And I'll tell you, if you're not going to give guys rhythm in a zone, it's going to be tough. But when you have rhythm, you're really, really excited to play against zone as a shooter.
Seaver goes barreling into the lane, and they're going to call him for an offensive foul. And I believe that was Rudd who stepped in front there to take the charge.
Yep, good call, good play by Rudd. I like Coach Davis here calling an early timeout. And there's no panic or anything right now. You just might need to reset yourself. Shen, you expect, good team at home, get off to a good start. So we're all fine. Both teams are fine currently.
So a timeout by Colonie, 5:03 to go in the opening quarter, and Shen out to the 8-0 lead. And you're right, you come on the road, they get the first punch, so they delivered the first punch, an 8-0 run. Now can Colonie come out of a timeout and answer back?
Well, I'm curious to see, you don't know, kids are kids, but when you lose one of your better players in Samito, you, as a coach, you can talk about it, doesn't matter all you want, but kids are kids, and you know and they know that when you're down one of your better athletes and better players, that's a big deal in a lot of different teams. I don't think it'll be a huge deal here tonight. Greg Davis is a really good coach. Colonie's a well-seasoned team with a lot of really good players. But like I said, early on, you expect the home team to get out to a good start. And
they have. And you saw the three, back-to-back threes here, Rudd, and then that was Borelli, and that's where we stand. 8-0 to start, and it'll be Shen ball out of the Colonie timeout.
Now, first time here we're going to see their 1-2-2. They'll trap out of it, but they'll fall back and do a 2-3. I'm curious to see when Shen gets set here into their half-court offense.
And I'll be honest with you, I'm an old school guy. So if I'm playing zone right now and you're knocking down threes, timeout, I'm going man.
A lot of coaches will, but if it's your identity, which it is in Colonie's world, you're okay with this because you got to get stops.
Yep, 100%.
And they do it every day in practice.
Like I said, it was a quick answer when I said to Coach Davis, man-to-man. It was quickly zone. Not playing the man, Roger. That's Rudd. Seaver and Rudd, and then blocked by Seaver and out of bounds to Shenendahoa.
You know, one of the philosophies as well when you're playing zone, I know Jim Boeheim had this philosophy at Syracuse, you might be able to make some threes early in the game, but can you make them the entire game?
Yeah, I saw Coach Yata this week at practice. Against the zone, we need to be patient for the first 5 or 6 seconds when they're trying to come up with that steal and the crazy movement, and then we can get some shots.
And that's hard, and Coach Shadow's done a really good job throughout his years here, both as a lower-level coach and now as the varsity coach, of really just continuing to preach patience offensively. And a lot of times, Roger, against the zone, you got to give up the first open look so you get a better second or third one.
All right, the officials tonight are Rain Clear, Bill O'Neill, and Edward Cossack III. The officials on the game tonight here at Shenendahoa. Had a little bit of a inclement weather today, but still, as I look around, they get a nice crowd here.
Always that first snowfall of the year. You always worry about the roads and everything. I thought the roads were pretty good.
Now, and if they couldn't make the game, then you know what they're doing.
They're
YouTube, watching right now. Yeah, and by the way, it's on WNYT YouTube, so you can see the game if you're here and you want to watch it tomorrow or next week. That's the beauty of that. And there's a look at the crowd here that is filed in. I don't know what they're looking at here at the monitor. That's been the delay here as the officials are taking a look at something.
So also when you're talking about zone,
I think this is a clock thing.
Yeah, I think they're looking at the shot clock. When you're playing zone and a team hits a couple of early threes on you, you really have to make a better emphasis of running guys off the three-point line. So you're okay against the zone if a guy's going to tear by you and get the ball to the free throw line off the bounce and maybe drive it hard into your big guy, but you got to try and run guys off the three-point line. And I think Colonie did that their last couple possessions.
All right, we're set to go. Borelli will inbound. And let's see also who has the deeper bench tonight. Going to get some contributions from the bench of Colonie and Shen. And with the shot clock winding down, wasn't a great look by Stewart. It didn't go in Tenney. He was capable of pushing in transition, and now whistle. Let's see what this is about. and they're still having issues with the shot clock here.
Well, I'll tell you, if you're Greg Davis, I've been there before. 4 minutes to go in the opening quarter. You haven't scored yet. I guarantee you, the way he feels, it's been an hour and a half this last 4 minutes. So you, as a coach, especially on the road, it's a real big, important piece if your team can get off to a good start, whether it's making a three, getting to the foul line, getting a couple of layups. So to grind this out early in the season is a good test for his team. And I think, knowing Greg the way that I do, he'll accept that challenge and he'll make it a challenge to his group.
All right, we are set. It'll be Andrew Hewlett inbounding the ball in a side out. 6'5" senior into Peter Tenney. Tenney and Seaver both average 16 points per game. And Ryan Klaus more than capable of getting it going offensively. That time, though, off the turnover, and at the other end is Morgan, and that's going to be an and one. That bucket will count. The foul is on Andrew Hewlett, and it's a 10-0 start. And here is the turnover, Coach.
So you get taught this, especially when you're a guard. And I'll tell you, I love what Morgan did here. You go hard at the outside shoulder of the defender. If he jumps in, you jump, and you jump into that defender's outside shoulder, more than likely you're going to get fouled.
Well, you can't get much better of a start on the home court than what Shen has right now, up 11-0.
Now the danger here is a little bit of a letdown, and you want to avoid that.
And there is the first bucket. Andrew Hewlett on the baseline, off the glass, and Colonie is on the board. And down it goes, another three. That's the third made three of this first half. Jacob Stewart.
Stewart had 25 against Marcellus, Roger. I'm telling you, come off a 25-point game, that basket looks like a humongous bucket. Stewart off to another good start.
Yeah, he's one of the three players that averages double figures. He's got 16 per game. And when I asked Coach Yata what defense he would play, it was pretty much predominantly man-to-man. As Klaus for three, no good, out of bounds to Shenendahoa.
And what I'm seeing a little bit now in the half court is Colonie is paying so much attention to Ibrahim. And I mean so much attention to him that it's kind of opening up other areas. And you're seeing Shen take advantage of that.
As a look at the history between these two schools, 25th meeting, Shen up 15-9 overall. Last meeting a year ago in January, Colonie won 60-46. That one was almost down too. Stewart in and out on the three, and Peck has it. To the point guard, Tenney. We're late stages of this opening quarter, and it's been all Shen so far. And you already just haven't, Colonie having problems with the basketball here. Too many turnovers, and there's another one as Tenney steps on the out-of-bounds line underneath the basket.
So Shenendahoa builds their help side defense pretty well. And they're not over-pressuring the ball, but they're having the right amount of pressure on the basketball. And if you watch their help, guys behind the basketball, they're not hugging their man. They're staying in the paint, and they're staying contested.
All right, so he did not step out of bounds. He threw that in, and it went off of Shenendahoa. So Colonie keeps possession of that. Klaus, and a whistle out front on Borelli. A little reach-in foul as Ryan Klaus was making a drive to the rim.
You know, most coaches every coach will say the same thing about defensive basketball. Every coach wants to rebound. Every coach wants to help. But I'll tell you, one of the most important skills, believe it or not, is the ability to keep the basketball in front of you. And if you do that, now you're talking about teams taking contested twos.
And that's a long three-point shot by Mason Grimes that was off the mark. But the ball goes off of Shenendahoa, so Colonie will get it back. And they need some offensive rhythm here and some shots to drop. Down 14-2. Nice ball screen to get Tenney a three, but good close out there by Ibrahim. Ryan Klaus spins up with the right hand, and he gets called for a travel.
And again, good solid defense by Shenendahoa. Just keeping the ball in front, sliding your feet. This is going to sound silly, but playing with your hands and moving with your hands. Contested twos, very difficult to score against that kind of defense.
Some substitutions for Shen. Will Conley and Nick Romano have checked into the lineup. And they turn it over on that possession. But only 2 points so far in this opening quarter by Colonie. Inside to Seaver. Double teamed, whistle, and we got a foul. It's going to be a reach-in foul on the blocks by Jacob Stewart.
Nice to see Colonie throw it in a couple of more times, because what you're seeing now is they're putting, like we said, a lot of arms and bodies around Seaver in the post. If they're going to allow that post feed that easily, I think Colonie could open up for a couple easier looks here.
Tenney for three, and that drops, and that's a big shot for Colonie to see Tenney hit that three.
He really needed that one. His team needed that one. That's a good sign for him, because if they're going to have a chance here, especially down a man, Tenney's going to have a big game.
And a double dribble call on Romano, the sophomore. And so Shen turns it over, and a window here for Colonie to climb right back into this game.
Well, Shen's really picking on that short corner, long corner area, which makes sense because those two bump guys are really overextending.
Tenney slices down the lane, and the putback no good by Seaver, and there's Andrew Hewlett. And that's a strong rebound by Drew. And when he plays with that kind of intensity on the glass, that's normally a good sign for his team.
Well, they have two guys, and you just mentioned both of them, Seaver and Hewlett, who are really good athletes, and they are big and strong. And when they jump with their hands up, their size advantage, it just jumps right off the page at you, especially in this game. Now, getting to the free throw line, if you're Colonie, really super important because you're struggling in the half court. You got to get some easier baskets to go in. Unfortunately, missed the first one there.
Now, Andrew has the type of personality where he can let that go and step back up there and hit the second one. Short, and he missed both. And the rebound to Will Conley, a 6'3 junior, number 11, off the bench for Coach Yata. Well, you're right. The defense around Ibrahim, they know all about him on the scouting report. And a block by Drew. Hewlett up ahead, Tenney, and a foul. And that'll be a two-shot opportunity. And that was set up by the block at the other end by Hewlett.
We talked about it. If you're going to drive into 6'9", and in Hewlett's case 6'5", those guys go vertical and they're going to challenge shots. There's not a ton of people that are going to be able to finish over that kind of size and length. And you got Tenney now back to the line. He just made a three. Let's see if he can knock down 2 free throws for a quicker 5 points here for his team.
That was on Conley. There'll be 2 fouls on Conley, and Peter Tenney at the line makes it a 14-6 game. And here comes Rudd right back in the lineup. Ibrahim goes out. Peter Tenney will have one more.
Another study point for offense against the 2-3 zone or any zone. Your drives, you want your drives to be north to south. Attack or don't attack. You don't want to go side to side.
Well, after an 11-0 start to the game by Shen, it's now 14-7. Stewart thought about the three, kicks it into the right corner, and that three-point shot is off the mark by Nick Romano. And Colonie will look to push every time in transition. Final 15 seconds. Seaver double teamed. Hewlett lost control of the ball. Bodies diving after the floor. Excellent hustle by both teams with 5.9 seconds remaining. It'll be Shen basketball, and watch. You like to see this as a coach, don't you?
Of course, and look at all those bodies around Weaver as we talked about, but anytime you get guys on the floor playing that hard, you love that.
And this is Morgan at the buzzer, and that will do it for the first quarter here at Shenendahowa. And some threes going down. Stewart is one of them here tonight as Shen has a 14-7 lead after the opening quarter on My 4. And inside Shenendahoa, how about some aspiring artists here at Shen? The student athletes doing good work here, Steve Scambolori.
Anytime you can put art like this up in your school building, it's almost like a museum, and it brings a different feel and vibe to your building. That was great.
Well done by the student athletes here at Shenendahoa, and I guess some student athletes, or some students inside, all ready for the holiday season. Is that called the ugly sweaters? Is that what they sometimes?
Maybe it's ugly Christmas sweaters.
I have a few of those. So far, Rudd has 5 points, Tenney has 3, the top scorers, and we're set to go in this second quarter, 14-7, Shen on top.
If Greg Davis, you're feeling okay. You were down 11-0. Now your team has settled, and now you're ready to go.
Stewart with the basketball, looks in the middle, trying to hit Borelli, and turned it over. Klaus up to Tenney. Conley on him in a man-to-man, or that's Romano on him in a man-to-man defense. That's Bryce Esanison, the sophomore, number 2. But they're going to feed it into the big man, and with the left hand, Seaver turns and scores, and it's 14-9.
Really nice post feed. I mean, really appropriate level pass. I mean, that was just a really good post feed.
And now Shen turns it over. And here comes Klaus in transition. And his shot with the left hand is no good. And we have a timeout by Paul Yata. Doesn't like the way his team is playing right now, and they've turned the ball over, and Colonie trying to take advantage of that.
Well, the way Colonie plays their zone, it's tricky to navigate for multiple possessions. You might get an open 3, you might make a little mini run, let's say 2 threes in a row. But after a while, if you're playing that zone, you're banking on the other team just breaking it down and just struggling with it. Colonie's got size, they got length, they have athleticism, so they play that zone well, which they do. That's tough to navigate for a 32-minute game.
Yeah, and then they saw the stats in the first quarter. They made the three-pointers. That was the difference there. And then the turnovers by Colonie led to an 11-0 start, but now Colonie are getting back in this game. Shen turning the ball over. Credit both defenses as well, but can't turn the ball over in big spots here and win games.
And if your bump guys, and by bump guys I mean Hewlett and Klaus, if your bump guys are good in a 2-3 zone, your zone has a chance to be really, really tough. And watch how high they come out here. They're going to extend out. Ball's going to reverse.
That's a Sanderson, the sophomore. That's a nice reverse backdoor cut. You get in behind that defense, and that's what Nick Romano did, and the reverse layup by the sophomore is good.
Ball goes middle in a 2-3. Your bump guys got to get to the corners of the backboard, and if they're too slow, which that time they were, they're going to give up layups.
Klaus an open 3, lets it fly. Too strong off the back of the iron, and the rebound to Jacob Stewart. Ibrahim with the drive and scores on the left side with the right hand.
Good finish, tough finish, especially over who you're finishing over, and that's 6'9" inside.
Wide open, Peter Tenney. Can't get that to go. Seaver gets the rebound, tried to throw it back out on the wing and threw it away. And I'd like to figure out how many turnovers these teams have here early on in this game. Probably too many for either coach.
Well, I'd like for Seaver to just take a deep breath almost when he catches the basketball, count to 1 or 2, because if he does that, he's going to see more things that are going to help him and help his teammates.
That's Stewart for 3 in the left corner, too strong, and Klaus gets the weak side rebound. Up to Tenney, and he was double teamed, and they steal it. Ibrahim, that would have been an and 1. Instead, it's a foul and a 2-shot opportunity for Begad, who told me his parents are from Egypt. He was born in Chicago. He's been in a number of different spots along the way, and I believe he said he came to the Capital Region when he was in 8th grade.
What's interesting about him, he is always under control. Whether he's driving, whether he's catching, shooting, he always appears that he's under control. And that is something that is very difficult to teach and to have, both as a coach and a player. And that one play, I think Tenney ran into a trap that wasn't designed to be a trap, but for all our young players watching, when you get trapped, it is not the end of the world to take a 5-second call. At least you can set your defense. If you give up a live ball turnover, you can get a run out, maybe a dunk or a basket, in this case an and 1. So you got to be careful with that. Being trapped is okay, Raj.
Christian Morgan back in. You saw Ethan Peck came in for Colonie, replaced the Ryan Klaus. And Ibrahim with the foul shot. It's a 6-0 run by Shenendehowa, and they're out up 20-9 with 5:40 to go in the second quarter. And Ibrahim pressuring Tenney, trying to get it inside, but Rudd's really guarding Seaver pretty well down to the blocks. Now they get to Hewlett. Back out to Peck. It's a good defensive stand here by Shenendehowa. Peck for three. That didn't hit rim, and here comes Ibrahim. And that's Stewart for three, and it's good.
You know what the best part about that play is the three-pointers, what everybody's going to see. Ibrahim with a drive to the middle and a kick to a teammate. Perfect pass in rhythm and a great shot by his teammate.
And a walking call on Andrew Hewlett and a turnover against Colonie. And here's the great feed, the great setup on a 7-0 run here.
Under control. He saw he could have easily put his head down and try to run over two guys, but he's under control. He comes to a stop, kicks to the corner. That's called making your teammates better. And so many players everywhere should invest more into making each other better. And you see it right here at a high level at Shen.
So good start by a number of players here in the 5-1-8. Antonio Farley from Canada Harry, 36 points, including career point number 1,000. Olivia Landry from Columbia, her 1,000th career point. She had a 20-point performance. And Jeffrey Mulhern, a former News Channel 13 All-Star from Glainsburg, 66 points in 2 Eagles wins. He's a tremendous player. Made our All-Star team last year and saw him a couple of weeks ago at the Albany Academy Green Tech game. Had a chance to chat with Jeffrey and his team off to a good start. 6 points for Stewart for Shenendehowa, and they have a 23-9 lead.
And again, if you're Colonie, it's really just getting stops. Their offense is a little bit better where they can get out and run, but you can't do that unless you're getting stops.
Ibrahim, cross-court pass, good extra pass to Stewart. Looking down inside and open, and the layup is good. That's Christian Morgan. Again, in the inside part of that defense, it's now 25-9.
You're so used to, you've become so used to over the years seeing Shen do that. Ultra patience, making a couple extra passes that lead to such a high percentage shot.
That was the entire practice yesterday here at Shenendehowa that I had the pleasure of attending. They worked on just that, patience against the zone, and that three by Tenney, Peter. When he gets going, he can crank up the offense and make the threes.
And he's got to get going a little bit. We'll see if Coach Davis runs a couple of more sets for him. But, you know, if you're Peter Tenney, you got to get going here a little bit.
An 11-0 run was ended by Tenney's three. Stewart on the baseline. Weak side rebound, no box out there. And Morgan puts it back up and in.
You know, good zone looks like man and good man looks like zone. But either way, if you play zone, it's very difficult to block out because you're looking for an area. And most players say, I have to run to my area, not necessarily run to the man in my area. And you saw it happen that time.
Hewlett hands it off to Peck. Tenney trying to get in the lane. It's good defense by Ibrahim. Nice touch pass to Smaris. He's got it. Yes, sir. Carson Dismaris, the sophomore, buries a three, and that's the bench points. As somebody comes off the bench and has himself a game, and maybe it's Carson Dismaris tonight.
And he's somebody. That was a big shot and a good tip out there by Seaver inside. Again, Seaver just so much attention. Got to do that a little bit more.
Borelli there, that's down inside, got in behind Seaver, and Morgan scores again.
It's called hiding behind the zone. Coaches call that spot the dunker spot. So hiding behind the zone where the zone loses its vision on you.
29-15. It's been a lot of Shen here in the first half. Seaver down low. Can he get the roll around the rim? He can't. A rebound to Jacob Stewart. Morgan with 9 points in the game. Near turnover there. Borelli lets it fly. At the hustle rebound by Ibrahim.
Yep, long shots equal long rebounds more times than not.
Boy, just nice passing all the way around there. Morgan feeds Rudd. And Shen is sharing the basketball.
Well, what you're seeing, because they're so patient, they're extending this zone out, and they're almost extending it out too far. So Colonie almost coming out too far where they're opening up more gaps, driving and passing lanes, and that's tough to cover. I mean, Syracuse was successful on it because they were Syracuse. They had the best athletes in the country, but it is tough, and I mean tough, to play good zone.
Peter Tenney off the glass, can't get it to go. Seaver had it, lost control, and Dismaris. Good hustle by Carson and fouled by Rudd. With 1:56 to go.
And when I was coaching at St. Rose, we played an exhibition game against Syracuse. So it was Hakeem Warwick, Craig Forth, I want to say Terrence Roberts. Jerry McNamara was a senior that year, and I forget who the other guard was. I mean, Roger, they came out in a 2-3 zone. I honest to goodness thought, I was 24 years old, I honest to God thought we were not going to score a point. I mean, Hakeem Warwick would take one step, he'd be at the three-point line. He'd take another step, he'd be under the basket. It was really something. But that gave me a deeper appreciation for how good Syracuse was at that zone.
No doubt about it. They don't do as much of that these days. I just was at the U-Albany at Syracuse game a couple of weeks ago. All right, Rudd comes out of the game. He's got 2 personal fouls. That's the 6'5" senior for Shen. Nice play there, but can't finish it. Klaus can't get that one to go in point-blank range, and here comes Morgan, who has 9 points up with it. Up to Ibrahim. And Stewart with an open 3. Missed, rebound Seaver.
Again, really good draw and kick, really high percentage shot. If you're Shen, you'll take those all day.
Tenney sets up Klaus for 3. And we got a foul on the rebound.
Last couple possessions, you almost feel like Colonie's trying to hit a 15-point basket. Yeah. And that, you coach through that and you remind your players there's no such thing as a 15-point basket. They just got to chip away here. It just comes down to getting stops and getting shots.
Foul was on Ibrahim, that's his first. Dismaris has it up top, open look again. Tenney's been hitting those. Not that time. And Morgan the rebound with 1:06 to go. Up ahead, underneath, Stewart. And now they'll show some patience here. Borelli, Morgan, and they turned it over. Nice defensive play by Ethan Peck.
And you know as a bump guy that your weak part is the corner, so you almost that time, and Peck did it, defended his backside with that right hand and got a steal.
And that foul was on Borelli, trying to guard Tenney on the drive.
What you love about Morgan, Roger, he can rebound the ball, lead the break on his own, a real versatile player. That's impressive. You get one of those in high school, boy. You love that.
Borelli comes out with 2 fouls, and Nick Romano checks in. Tenney to Dismaris, and Klaus and Peck. Final 30 seconds of the half, and Tenney gets stuck underneath the basket there and turned it over. Good defense by Stewart.
Well, legendary coach Don Bassett would call that putting yourself in basketball jail. Getting behind the backboard, and then you have no place to go, and you saw at that time he threw it up against the backboard as a turnover.
Steve, I can hear Donnie say that. The legendary Donnie Bassett, who might be watching, knowing a basketball junkie that he is. I have a funny feeling he might be tuned into this one tonight. He was tuned in last week. Ibrahim with the dribble. Final 15 seconds of the half. Controlled by Shen, up 31-15. And now 8 seconds to go. Ibrahim going to take the final shot of the first half. Doesn't hit the rim. Klaus the rebound at the buzzer. No good, and that will do it. We are 1 half in, and Shenendahowa on the home court has a 31-15 lead. And we'll come back with our halftime show and more analysis from Steve Scambolori on My Four. It is halftime at Shenendehowa. We've had a rough day outside, but inside for Shenendehowa at least, it's been a good one as the Shenendehowa Football Wall of Fame. And when I see the name Brent Stewart-Wald, that brings back a lot of memories. When I came to town here in the late 80s, Brent Stewart-Wald, and for a very long time thereafter, had this football program playing at the highest level. And Brian Clausen has come in and done a really, really good job as well. Steve Scambolori with me here. Halftime, you have to say so far, all Shenendehowa up 31-15.
Yeah, if you feel good, if you're Shenendehowa, you want to maintain exactly what you're doing. Great patience against Colonie's zone, which is really why they've gotten off to this really nice lead. They're shooting the ball pretty well. Colonie, if you're watching at home, the common answer is, well, if they're playing well, get out of your zone and change your defense. But I think Greg Davis is kind of committed to his identification as a basketball team defensively. He's going to be this 2-3 zone. He might also be playing percentages. You might see some things that he liked and didn't like. So I anticipate Colonie, maybe they'll change it once or twice. I don't think they're going to come out of that zone, though.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And then the other thing is at the end of the day, basketball is relatively simple. Make shots.
Of course.
And right now, Shenendehowa is making shots, and Colonie is not making shots.
Colonie's,
outside of Peter Tenney.
And Colonie's best offense, believe it or not, has been rebound and go. They've been getting to the basket a little bit. One of the things they're not doing too good, coming into this game, they were only shooting, I think the total, 13 free throws attempted on the year. I'd like for them to get to the rim a little bit more. When you're trying to make a comeback, which you're going to have to do, you've got to get some points from the free throw line because the clock is stopped.
Yeah. When we come back, we got some highlights coming up and some analysis from Steve Scambolori. We are at halftime on our Game of the Week on My 4, and right now, Shen with a 31-15 lead on Colonie. And we are at halftime here at Shenendehowa, Shen East, on a snowy, wintry Friday night. Inside, it's been warm if you're Shenendehowa. A little bit on the cold side for the shooting for Colonie, but Shen up 31-15. Roger Weil and Steve Scambolori with you here courtside. And Steve, let's take a look at some early highlights. And it was Shenendehowa racing out to an 11-0 lead in this game.
Not a complete surprise. Not a complete surprise. You expect the home team to come out, shoot the ball in their home gym well. They did just that. Ibrahim, a great look, as we talked about, to Stewart there in the corner. And then again, Don Bassett would say a lot. Usually one guy jumps. He's the one that gets the rebound. And you see it there with Christian Morgan.
Yeah, Christian Morgan has 9 points. And here against the zone, he gets open down underneath and scores. Morgan has 9 and Rudd has 7. And for Colonie, it's Peter Tenney with 8 points.
Well, I think what he's struggling with, as a matter of fact, I think the entire Colonie offense is struggling with the length, especially at the guard position from Shen. And you're seeing Tenney not being able to get off as many shots as he wants. All right, they're going to need him to really kind of push the ball a little bit in transition, try and get to the rim. But something like this out of a 1-4 set, let's see if Coach Davis starts to go back to it a little bit more.
All right, what do you make of the first half statistics here, Steve?
Well, you look at the field goals made. I mean, if you're Colonie, it probably felt like that first half was probably about 3 or 4 games combined because you made 5 baskets, and that's never going to get it done. You feel like you've probably been in this gym for a couple of hours. For Shen, you're happy. 12 for 26. You scored 31 points. You're defending really well. But if I'm Coach Addo, I am talking and reviewing with my team about that zone. We saw a little bit of a spurt, maybe 1-2 minutes, where they struggled offensively against it.
And if you're Colonie, you do have to be careful about Shen, the whole way they're attacking that zone and getting some looks. You saw Morgan down inside, in behind Seaver. That can't happen. That's
why I wonder if Greg Davis will back up his guards a little bit and maybe make them come to them a tiny bit. That would create a more safer environment at the high post area and inside.
All right, we're just about to start for the second half. When we come back, more analysis and close in on the third quarter. So far, it's Shenendehowa leading Colonie in our game of the week on My 4. All right, 31-15 is our score here. Shen leads Colonie. Roger Weil and Steve Scambalori. What about on the inside here? Let's talk some Luke Seaver. He's got the one bucket. Can they get him the ball more on the inside? Can he get some offensive putbacks? Can the 6'10 junior who averages 16 points a game get some shots like that on the low blocks?
Well, I think getting him involved more is going to be a big key for this second half. But, Roger, the way to do it is you've got to run the floor, and you got to let him get to the rim. Coaches call it a rim run, post up. But you really have to reverse the basketball. By reversing the ball, changing sides of the floor, the defense expands, and then your post feeds are going to be a little more open. If you're going to keep the ball on one side of the floor, it's going to be difficult to get it inside like they want to. He's getting so much attention from Shen, but as I said in the first half, when he catches the basketball, and you might laugh at me, but he did it once, they missed a wide open three. He's got to catch it, take a breath, count to 2, and then make a decision. But if they want to get him more involved, it's run, reverse, take a deep breath, and then throw it in.
There are the stats for Luke Seaver, 19 a game, and he had a big opening. That was the opening game against Cardinal O'Hara, 23 and 12, and play volleyball. That would make perfect sense for Luke. A nice young man who has really worked hard. My son played with him a couple of years ago, and I watched him 2 years ago, and I said, okay, as I said to you earlier in our broadcast, that's a young man that if he works at this with his size, drop a few pounds and work on your skill, and he's done that. And
he's got good footwork. He's got good feet. He's got good hands. He's got a soft touch around the basket. He changes. This is big, especially for the big guys who might be listening to the broadcast. You don't necessarily have to block shots, but you can change shots. And if you kept a statistic for Luke Seaver, how many shots he has changed throughout the course of this young season, it's got to be a ton. He's making an impact defensively.
I love seeing the shot there of Christian Morgan, number 0. When I was coaching CDBYL, his father was coaching the Shen team. So I saw his father tonight, and we reminisce about those days, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and it wasn't the 8th grade year because it was COVID that year, but there's Christian Morgan, 6'5" senior, averaging 8 points a game, and he's had a good first half here. He's played well.
I thought
he's got 9 points.
I thought pound for pound, one of the most impressive performances, and what told me that Shen's going to be really good this year, that first win against Troy. Because Troy's coming in, brand new coach, brand new energy, and they're going to be amped up and ready to play. And we all know that Jamel Hood teams are going to play hard and they're going to play smart. They're going to compete their tails off. I mean, Morgan had a double-double. He had 12 points, 16 rebounds against Troy, and Shen beat them here. And that that probably didn't get a ton of attention around the area, but I thought that was a huge win. Told me a lot about Shen and how good they're going to be this year, and you can see it here.
Looks like same starting 5, Morgan, Borelli, Ibrahim, Stewart, and Rudd. And remember, Julius Samito, one of the starters for Colonie, out tonight with an injury. And Ethan Peck got the start in the first half. And it looks like it's the same 5, which will be Hewlett, Tenney, Klaus, Seaver, and Peck.
Let's keep an eye on our seniors. Hewlett and Klaus, this is really a senior moment. You need your veteran guys to step forward here and make a couple plays.
And you got to get a guy like Andrew Hewlett involved, and I think throwing in a Seaver is not a bad idea. But Rudd is playing tough defense down to the blocks. Tenney, baseline move, kick out, open 3, Klaus. Hewlett gets the rebound, and a foul on Christian Morgan with a hold on Drew Hewlett.
Now, the only thing you could do if you're Greg Davis on that possession is clap your hands and say, guys, really good possession. Multiple plays, multiple drives, great kick out there. Klaus just happened to miss a 3, but that was a good possession.
Hewlett trying to get inside, but it's tough to get it in there. Instead, you throw it out and you let Tenney try and knock down a 3 off the front of the iron. And Ibrahim quickly in transition for Shenendahoa. And Stewart is open. That 3 is no good. Seaver with the rebound, outlet to Peck. Peck with the drive and the right hand off the glass. No good, but a whistle and a foul is going to be called, I believe, on Ibrahim. Nope, that's 4 White. That's going to be on Stewart.
And we talked at halftime, their best offense, them being Colonie, is rebound and run. What do they do there? They rebounded the ball, outlet it, they ran the floor. Now a chance, the clock stopped, make a couple free throws.
Yeah, and Ethan Peck with a nice drive. Good, confident, hard drive, and earns himself a couple of foul shots. Ethan just a sophomore and a big part of this Colonie Wolfpack program. So 1 of 2 from Peck. And let's see if Colonie tweaks anything at all in the zone defense.
Staying in it.
You just got to watch backdoor and underneath. And there's Stewart along the baseline. Ibrahim feeding Morgan. He lost the handle. Was knocked out actually by Ryan Klaus with 13 to shoot.
North to south drive that time by Ibrahim. And if not for a great deflection, that was probably going to be a layup for Shen.
Borelli looking to get it in and does to Morgan. Turned it over, and here comes Tenney. Back the other way for Colonie, and in and out, no good. But good hustle by Klaus. And gets it back into the point guard's hands, the senior Peter Tenney. Lob it inside to Seaver. Quick pass to Hewlett. Baseline drive, and that's knocked out of bounds by Borelli. It'll be Colonie ball.
And he's got a good feel when that ball comes in, Seaver, where his open teammates are. I mean, that's tough. You can't teach that. That's like a skill you have to develop.
Both teams trying to find it offensively here to begin the third quarter. Ibrahim almost got a reach-in foul going for the steal. And this time the ball is knocked away from Hewlett. And a turnover, and then Drew with the foul.
So I would say Colonie probably too much standing around on the offensive end of the floor. Like to get some movement, maybe some cutting, some down screens, some block to block, some high lows, just to get Shen moving. The more the defense will move, the more you can flip the ball on both sides of the floor and reverse it. That defense should expand, and then you might have a better opportunity to score.
And Colonie really yet has not been able to get out and run, right? Run that fast break, get the ball off the boards and go. Excellent ball movement here by Shen, and a foul called on Colonie, and that'll be on Klaus.
And you see when Shenendehoa throws the ball to the short corner area, what Colonie will do is they will trap that action. And if you practice it, and it's clear that Shen did, you catch that basketball and quickly you go opposite wing because the defense will not be able to get over there in time.
Foul on Klaus, and that is his second of the game. Ibrahim inbounds to Stewart. Right back to Ibrahim. That's an open three, in and out. That was down and popped out, and Hewlett gets the rebound. Up ahead to Tenney, and now Klaus. It's an open look for Peck. High arcing three. Can't get it to go. The three just not dropping. Here's a transition opportunity.
But I like his confidence, though. He shot one in the beginning of the game. He shot one there. He had a nice drive to the rim where he got fouled. I mean, I like Peck's confidence. I think he's got to show more of that here as we head down the home stretch.
Borelli for three, and it's good. Sam Borelli. He's made a couple threes, and it's now 34-16 here in the third quarter.
And they can make them quickly, especially in this gym. You got to be careful here if you're Colonie.
Klaus with a good drive, and he scores off the glass. Nice move by the senior Ryan Klaus.
And Raj, that was a veteran senior move with veteran senior power finish. And you like that if you're Klaus. He's got to do more of that here if his team's going to hang around.
Well, you said a key moment in the game here for Colonie to stay in this thing. Borelli with the miss. Seaver gets the rebound. Colonie will push.
Good transition defense that time by Shen. They matched up really well.
And Klaus may be feeling it. Underhand scoop shot as he falls to the floor is no good. That's the transition bucket, and the layup is good by Stewart. And it's 36-18. Shenendehoa.
Yeah, if this game continues to be just a half-court game, it very much favors Shen.
Hewlett goes up strong. Blocking foul is going to be called on Ibrahim, and that'll put Andrew Hewlett to the line shooting two shots.
And they've missed a couple bunnies here, especially in the second half. But right here, what you love about that, Stewart's going to get his name in the paper for that basket. That's a tremendous throw-ahead pass to a teammate. I mean, you throw the ball over half court instead of dribbling it, the ball travels faster off the pass than the dribble. Good opportunity there to get a layup.
Well, you know all about that, Steve. That's what you did. That was your game, wasn't it?
Well, part of it. I don't know how much passing I did, to be honest with you. My teammates would tell you that. But, I got into the coaching world. You see different things from different angles, and you study numbers more. And one of the things that I learned as a young coach is, man, when you throw the ball over half court instead of dribbling it, that's a really good recipe for an easy basket.
All right, Hewlett makes a couple of foul shots, 36-19. Still a long way to go, but Colonie's got to make their move here as Carson Dismaris, who came off the bench in the first half and knocked down a three, is back in for Coach Davis. Good active look at the zone defense there, and that time Hewlett got down inside and prevented that pass from finding its way into Ibrahim's hands down inside low.
Great ball movement, great deflection. If you're watching at home, you want the defense to move on the flight of the ball, not on the catch of the basketball. Let's see if they can do that. They did it that time. So you want to move as the ball's in flight, not when the man catches the basketball.
Brycey Sanderson is back in. Number 2 for Colonie as Rudd is fouled. And that's a foul on Ryan Klaus. And that'll be 2 shots for Ethan Rudd.
I'm curious to see this foul here because I want to see his hands. His hands came down. They didn't stay vertical. If your hands come down on an angle, it's going to be a foul. If Seaver puts his hands straight up, we call going belly to belly, and you go straight up and you hold your footing, it's probably not going to be a foul.
And that is the 3rd foul on Klaus as Rudd misses the first of a 2-shot foul. Rudd averaging 15 points and 5 rebounds per game coming into tonight's actions. Shen 3-0, trying to go to 4-0 to start the year. And they've got the 37-19 lead. Dismaris in the backcourt along with the Sanderson. Good job, Dismaris, recognizing the double team. And the 3 by Sanderson is no good, but Ryan Klaus gets a nice offensive board. And the shot by the big man, Seaver. He buries it, about a 15-footer there. Luke Seaver knocks it home, and a timeout by Colonie.
Well, you see his versatility right there in his game, that 15-footer, really solid-looking stroke. And inside, I already said, he's got a pretty nice touch. I like his future. He's got a real bright future as a basketball player, potentially as a college basketball player.
Good timeout there by Coach Davis.
Well, usually this is a timeout where you're either going to change something or adjust something offensively or defensively. So I'm curious to see if there is an adjustment. But again, if you're Colonie, you're down 37-21, you're still not out of the game. There's a long way to go here in the 3rd period. I think you certainly want to finish out this 3rd period strong. Colonie, believe it or not, Raj, still hasn't made a run in this game, not even really a mini run. So they should be due to make a little bit of a spurt, and I think it would be really advantageous of them to get that done here. But look, you're going to do that with your defense, and they have to get out and run, and I think get the ball to the rim a little bit, try and get fouled, try and make some layups.
And Coach Davis and Colonie coming off an historic season. They went 22-1 a year ago, 13-0 in the Suburban, went all the way to the Class AAA championship game and lost to the eventual state champion in Green Tech.
Green Tech was dynamite last year, and Colonie was dynamite as well. But look, I mean, you get the Cool Insuring Arena, anything, and I mean anything can happen. I've been in those situations. You just never know. But if you're there, you know one thing: your team is pretty good.
So far, neither team really lighting it up from the field here in this 3rd quarter. Shen is 2 for 5, and Colonie is 2 for 8. But on the scoreboard, it's 37-21 Shen. They jumped out early in this game. You're just tuning in to an 11-0 lead. Ibrahim got it. Got the roll on the iron. And it drops through for Begad. Ibrahim averaging 18 a game and a turnover. Borelli, 2 again. Ibrahim. And it's now a 20-point game.
Don't want to rush. Want to take a deep breath. Try and run something here. And you have Tenney out of the game, so you really have to be careful if you're Colonie that this one getting away from you.
Morgan pushing up ahead. Borelli. And the tip no good. Rudd. All over the glass there. Good hustle by Rudd. And Shen is rolling right now, Steve, up 43-21.
Yeah, just a lot of players, a lot of unselfishness. You got Rudd inside, keeping multiple balls alive, finishing around the rim. Here he is again.
Colonie can't buy a bucket, and back the other way. A blocking foul is going to be called as Ibrahim with the drive. It'll be 2 shots with 1:21 to go in the half.
And the one thing they have, this is a really tough shot and a beautiful, beautiful touch there at the end. The one thing that they have, this is Shen, that Colonie right now doesn't. Any one of these guys can get a rebound and lead a fast break. I mean, you're talking about, that's a 2-3 second advantage instead of catching a rebound and looking for a point guard. If you can catch and lead the break on your own, I mean, you're getting down the floor that much faster.
Ibrahim will have one more. Peter Tenney checking back in for Colonie. Sanderson goes out. And you look at Begad. There's a sophomore, B. Sanderson, another promising player in the future of Colonie basketball for Greg Davis. Well, Paul Yata told me he liked this team for a variety of reasons.
And he's done, and I don't know Coach Yata, but he's done such a good job. I mean, Tony DeZikas had just so much success here. And to take over for him with the stakes as high as they are in Shen basketball, that's not something that a lot of coaches would want to do, and that's not a challenge that a lot of coaches would accept. I give Paul Yata a ton of credit because he's kept this thing going, and he's done it the right way. And that's a credit to him, his beliefs, his values as a coach.
Yeah, Coach DeZikas did some big things here with this basketball program over the years.
And you still feel his influence. I know Coach Yata worked for Tony DeZikas, but just to keep it going the way that he has is certainly admirable.
Well, I think they teach side by each here in the building, so they do talk quite a bit. Seaver gets that one to go on the low post for Luke Seaver. Final 45 seconds of this third quarter.
Good touch, good patience. They're going to need more of that. If not tonight, as the season goes on, he's got to become a little bit more of a scorer.
Just the sharing of the basketball by the Shen team has been impressive. And there's the end result. Will Conley, the junior, hits the three in the corner.
Well, you see them really expose both the short and the long corner tonight. And those are the weak spots, the real weak spots, especially when you're playing an extended 2-3 zone. Short corner, long corner. You see Connolly knock one down here.
Colonie going to take the last shot of the third. Tenney to Grimes. And Hewlett, and that's good. A three by Drew with a few seconds to go. At the buzzer, it's no good by Borelli. And that is the end of the third. A quarter, once again, controlled by Shenenda Ho. And they'll go to the fourth quarter now. Shen with the 47-26 lead on the game of the week on My 4. And classes broke today. I mean, final day of classes. And you can see Christmas right around the corner next week, Christmas Eve Tuesday. And these guys and the students have some time away from school to enjoy the holidays with their family. And happy holidays to all of you watching tonight on our Game of the Week. We'll be back with you after the first of the year with 6 more right here on WNYA My 4. Start of the fourth quarter. It's been all Shen, 47-26. We'll see what the Colonie can do here in the second half. That's a beautiful drive. Begad Ibrahim. We featured him in the pregame show, and that's why.
I just think his patience, even when he drives the basketball, is really impressive. That's not a common trait. He just sort of glides, and his patience really help him be really tough guard for anybody.
Don't forget a closer look on My 4. Follows our broadcast here tonight with Rachel Teedy and Steve Cooge. Colonie wants to talk it over here, a little bit of 30-second timeout. Coming up right after the game on My 4. My colleagues Rachel Teedy and Steve Cooge. And one thing we've done a lot of here, in addition to our 9 p.m. news, there's Honorado and Miller. Follow their show all over the social networking platforms. And Saturday at 6, Sunday at 6 p.m. on Saturday, and Sunday morning at 6 a.m. Chris Honorado, my former colleague in the sports department for many years, and Ashley, great people, and Ashley was with us in sports for 10 years, and now she is working for her alma mater at Shaker High School.
I like that. Greg Davis continuing to teach and continuing to coach, even though he probably knows this one's not going to go his way.
Yeah.
But again, before Christmas, you're trying to get better. You got to pull some confidence out of this game somehow.
Trying to get the ball inside to Seaver. Just everything a little difficult tonight. And that one pass didn't get where it needed to go. And then Seaver with the foul.
And you got to give Shen, obviously, all the credit for making it as difficult as they had. They've done a good job duration of the game on Seaver, just paying him their full attention, and rightfully so.
Yeah, 100%. No doubt. Offensively, defensively tonight, an outstanding job by Shen. Tenney for Colonie in transition. It's a good job getting back in transition defense by Shen, but then a foul on the baseline by Borelli and a reach in on Tenney. Morgan has 11, Rudd has 10, and Stewart has 8 points. The top scorers for Shen tonight.
And Tenney hasn't played poorly. A lot of players will think, well, if I don't score, it means I didn't play well. And I thought he played well. Ibrahim's length gave him some trouble, and he controlled the game, did Tenney, for the most part. So he didn't play poorly. You're going to have better nights ahead of you.
Mason Grimes hits the 2-point shot for Colonie. Coming off a football season that saw the Wolfpack go 5-5. It's their best record in the football team since 2017, and that's what plagued Colonie in the first half. That underneath bucket there, getting in behind the teeth of the zone defense, and Morgan now with 13 points.
And you could tell Shen prepared for the zone. You could tell they practiced ready for it. Throwing the ball to the high post, what to look for. Throwing it to the short corner, what to look for. I mean, they've done a nice job, and we talked about it. Both teams well coached, both teams well prepared, and Shen has played well tonight. Tonight, Roger, they just happen to be the better team.
So I'll finish my plug for it, and I'll give you a chance. I knew you have a shout-out, too, but shout-out to Greg Barrett and the football program. Get to 5-5 on the season. Call it a very successful year, and haven't had that many wins in several years. So congratulations to Coach Barrett and his staff and the players on that team. Sanderson with a runner with the left hand that didn't hit the iron, but the rebound to Colonie and a foul by Shen. And sometimes you get these games with where we're at right now, it gets a little bit sloppy.
It does, but there's always things to find, whether you're up by a bunch or whether you're down by a bunch. And both teams are going to be looking for that. Jen, you just want to finish strong. Colonie, you want to see, is there anybody else here that can help me with my rotation if I'm Greg Davis?
They're going to throw it in to Seaver. Takes it up strong, and that's what I like to see more of right there. Get the ball down low to Seaver, but again, tonight, Shen has been all over him, and including Ethan Rudd. Swung
the ball a little bit more that time, but Seaver also caught it a little bit deeper. When he catches the ball deep like that, you're either going to foul him or he's going to score.
Seaver in double digits with 10 points. Ibrahim guarded on the baseline by Peck. Back out front to Borelli. A lot of ball movement on the perimeter. Ibrahim drives, kicks out to Borelli. Pull up 15-footer, no good. Klaus, strong rebound. And Ryan will push and now slow it down and get it to the point guard's hand, which is right now Bryce Sanderson, sophomore.
Yeah, there we go. 1-4 set. Let's see what they get out of it.
How about this? Seaver for three, and it goes in. How about it? Nice shot by Luke Seaver.
I mean, if he can make a 15-footer, and now you're telling me he can make a three, combined with his strength and touch inside, I mean, that's pretty good.
I'm telling you right now, marked improvement, Steve Scambolori, by that young man. He's now has 13 points in this game.
Now, the difference is, obviously, 20 years ago, you don't see a center shooting a three. It just wouldn't happen. But the evolution of the game, everybody wants to shoot threes. But I'll tell you, he's got a nice touch. I think he's played well. He's done a lot of things that won't show up statistically. He's changed about 10 shots from Shen tonight. So he's got a bright future.
And he's wants the ball. And now they got him. Oh, tried to have a little no-look pass to cutting Ryan Klaus. That results in a turnover, but good try. Seaver goes out. And Andrew Hewlett checks back in.
Yeah, what I wanted to do quickly, Raj, I wanted to just give a big thank you. The pediatric unit at Albany Med, even the pediatric emergency room, ortho doctors, Dr. Mike Mulligan. Scambolori's had a tough week. Our 5-year-old had surgery the other day, unexpected. They were fabulous and fantastic, and those nurses and those doctors and those people that work there are just heroes. They helped my wife and I really just get through a very difficult time. We got Gabriel home today. He better be sleeping now. But hopefully we're on the other side of it. Just wanted to say a big thank you to all of them over there at Albany Med.
That's a well-deserved thank you from you to them. And I hear you on that. And everything seems to be pushing forward and on the up.
Trending forward.
That's
got
good.
home today, and my wife and I are laughing. This parenting thing, man, it's incredible how much care and love you have for one of your own. And like I said, just trying to navigate through that difficult time. Not everybody can do that, and I just think those people over there at Albany Med were absolutely heroes, and they were to us, and they're going to be for other people too.
Well, I'm glad you're back home and can hopefully enjoy the holidays.
That's the hope. Santa's going to come, right?
Absolutely. Will Conley's at the line, 6'3" junior guard.
And he's come off the bench. He's been ready to play. It's hard to sit on the bench for a long time and then come off and play with confidence and energy. He's done that. I give him a ton of credit. That's jumped out to me.
Sanderson to Klaus. Right back to Sanderson. Left-handed layup is no good, but he is fouled. And foul will go on Ibrahim, and that'll be 2 shots for the sophomore.
Colonie's going to get better. They get off to a good start in the season. They drop this one, they'll be 2-2. 2-1 in the league. They've had a couple of nice wins. I saw them play against Columbia. I thought they played really well against Columbia. But Shen, to their credit, has exposed some weaknesses, which as a coach you want that, and you want to sit with your team and you want to watch it, and then you want to hit the practice floor and you want to get better because of it.
Well, the upcoming schedule for Shen, they've got LaSalle on the 22nd, and LaSalle's good. That's a 6 p.m. tip. And then Niskayuna on the 30th, and then after the holidays, Saratoga. So LaSalle, Niskay, and Saratoga, the next 3 games for Shenendehowa.
And I was talking to Mike Beadnell, first-year head coach at Guilderland, the other day. He's doing a great job. That team is playing super hard. Mike's trying to rebuild that program, and I was telling him, I said, that Suburban Council is an absolute nightmare if you're a up-and-coming team or you're a program that's kind of trying to get it back together. I mean, there are no bad teams. I mean, everybody's really good. I mentioned Guilderland. Guilderland has had a bunch of close games. They're going to get over the hump pretty soon, but holy smokes, that Suburban Council, it's got to be one of the best leagues easily in the state.
Yeah, there's the upcoming schedule for Colonie, Albany Academy, which is probably the best team in the area, Aquinas, and Bethlehem. And then we mentioned the Shen schedule, and here's a look at that, what Paul Yata and his team will face. 3 very difficult teams once this game is over. And there's Coach Yata in his 4th season. They got LaSalle, Niskay, and Saratoga.
You always highlight those what we'll call tougher parts of your schedule where you know you're playing against really, really good teams. And from a coaching standpoint, from a team standpoint, you learn an awful lot about your group through those tough games. And I think coaches love doing that because that's how you get better.
Sanderson knocks it away from Romano. Romano gets it right back, and Coach Yata going to empty his bench here and get a lot of guys into this game. Give him a little TV time, right? Why not? Good rebound by Romano. And we'll get a timeout to get some substitutions in here. So a fresh set, if you will, for Shenendehowa. All right, Begad, there he is, Begad Ibrahim, and I've seen his game before. Saw his game in travel basketball, and it's just gotten every year just a little bit better, Steve, and what he can do. And you see where he's at right now, where he was last year to the progression he has made from 9 points a game, averaging 18 a game, shooting it better from the floor, shooting it better from three-point range. Every category he's made improvements in.
Well, this is the first time I've seen him in person. I mean, he's 6'4", and he's got great length to him. Now, I think early on in this game, you'll see when we watch it back, defensively, he really created some problems for Peter Tenney just with his length and athleticism. So defensively, I was really super impressed. He's an excellent defensive player. We already talked about his offensive skills, can shoot the three, can score at all three levels. And again, his patience and composure, it's almost like at a college level, and that's really uncommon for just a junior in high school.
We are going to talk postgame with Christian Morgan from Shenendehowa. Came in averaging 8 points a game, but he's gone above and beyond on that one tonight. Final 2 minutes and 42 seconds with a fresh group on the floor for Shenendehowa and some new guys out for Colonie as well. And that was Noah Rich inbounding the ball. 15 is Jake Osborne. We'll do our best to identify those guys that have just gotten in the game.
And I like how he's kept Peck in the game for Colonie. I think Peck's got a chance to be a really good player and a really, really big contributor for this team this year. Let's see if he can make a couple of shots here down the stretch, gain a little more confidence.
And a turnover on that possession. And you said it more than once. You think Samito was a big loss tonight for Colonie.
Well, you lose an athlete, you lose a slasher scorer, and a guy who can rebound the basketball, push the ball on the break. So I thought that was a big loss. When you had told me that, my mind immediately went to that's going to be tough to replace.
Sanderson with the dribble. Good defense by Liam O'Shea, number 23. And we got a foul call as the ball went into Chase Brown, 21 there, 6'4" junior. And that's 5 team fouls. So that will be foul shots coming up for Chase Brown.
You know, when you're shooting free throws, you want to remind yourself, you want to stay at that line as long as you can. The reason is everybody in the gym's watching you. Some players will try to shoot it a little bit too quick. They'll do a quick routine. And I'm also a big believer, if a lot of players, when I was coaching at LaSalle, we had a couple players that would spin the ball backwards before they would shoot. And when we got rid of that, we saw their percentage climb up a little bit. So I'm always interested in people's free throw routines.
Yeah, I was always taught repetition, if you will, when it comes to foul shooting. Like, do it the same way every time you've got your routine. Were you a good foul shooter?
I was. Same routine. You got to work at it. And when you have 2 shots, Raj, if you miss the first one, you should step off the line and then come back and reset.
Pat trying to get the steal there and almost did. And the shot clock down to 10. Now it's 7. And Nick Romano with the ball, and with 3 seconds to shoot, a whistle and a foul is called on Michael Jewett, 6'1" junior.
And I love it. Both teams still playing hard. It's a credit to both coaches when you see that.
Romano gets it in and gets it right back. And then a nice bounce pass to Rich. And Rich in the corner for 3. Missed, but gets his own rebound and passes it back out front. And Amara Boucherie is in the game, number 5. He's a football player for Coach Clausen. who, as I said, just does a tremendous job. That football program it's always good. It's what degree of good is Shen football going to be year in and year out.
I mean, just so many great players at so many different sports within this community. I was fortunate to play college basketball with Danny Haver, who was a quarterback here, also a great basketball player here.
He was a great basketball player here. You remember, I covered all you guys. I've been around for a long time. And I remember you, and you bring up Haver, and I'm sure you could rattle off some names that I remember covering, and we have video of back at WNYT somewhere in our archives.
We got to talk about Carmen Massarello, left-handed player, a really good player here, former coach at Siena for a bit.
Great man.
That team was good. Ryan McDermott, Jim Zulo, of course, is the coach.
Zulo is still coaching,
which is incredible.
He's
still
coaching,
good.
And he's coaching the Northville girls basketball team.
And still good.
They almost went to a state championship last year, and I hear they're really good this year. As Shen, really good tonight with the dribble and a foul on Colonie. That'll go against Derek Hayes. Final 15.7 seconds. And just a terrific performance by the home team tonight to improve to 4-0 on the season. And our post-game guest will be Christian Morgan.
And I remember in '94, J.P. Day was a freshman here. J.P. Day played varsity basketball at Shen as a ninth grader. And back then, that was absolutely unheard of. That just never happened. And I remember that. J.P. Day played CYO against him from this community up here. He played for St. Edwards. It's just a cool place to play sports in a community that loves their athletes.
And Jake Osborne into the scoring column. Love it. 5'9" junior. Get a chance to play, and at the line makes both foul shots. Final 6 seconds. Sanderson behind the back, the left-hander, with time running out. That was the last shot of this game. And Shenendahowa with a strong effort right from the get-go, Steve Scambalora. They jump out to an 11-0 lead, and that set the tone early in this game.
It certainly did, and you can look at it from a bunch of different ways. They just played better tonight. They were the better team. But what both teams will do, you feel good about it if you're Shen until about noontime tomorrow, and then you put it away. And if you're Colonie, you put it away when you get on the bus, you come back into the film room tomorrow, and you figure it out from there.
All right. We'll come back and get to our post-game interview session. And, Steve, we're going to talk to Christian Morgan, the senior from Shen, after the 55-35 win over Colonie. And final score from Shenendahowa tonight, Shen over Colonie 55-35. Roger Wyland along with Steve Scambolori, and we're joined by, we're calling the player of the game, Christian Morgan, the 6'5 senior, came in averaging 8 points a game. He gets 13 tonight. Christian, congratulations. How did this one feel? Looked like you guys just had it rolling right from the opening tap tonight.
You know, it felt great. We were just moving the ball. We were playing great defense as a team. You know, it was just a great win.
Yeah. Up by 11, and then that defense. And I thought the passing, the way you moved the ball offensively tonight, was extremely effective.
Yeah, we've been working on trying to fight their defense in practice, playing hard defense, so we can make those good passes.
And Christian, you're rebounding the ball, you're leading the fast break, you're scoring inside, you're setting up your teammates. You do just a little bit of everything for your team. How dangerous do you feel like you guys can be as we get into January, February?
We can be very dangerous. You know, if we just keep on moving the ball, no turnovers, we're gonna be great.
Christian, I spent yesterday at your practice, and I'll let you take me through it because you did work a lot against their zone, and you did work a lot on once you were able to handle their initial pressure that you might be able to get some good looks, and that's what happened tonight.
Yeah, that's like I said earlier, that's just what we were working on. Make sure we made the right passes, strong passes, fought the pressure.
And this team last year was pretty good, and everybody I talked to yesterday tells me you think that this year's team overall is a better team than you had a year ago.
Yeah, it was they're a very great team. We're a great team too now. We wanted to come back after last year.
And one of the best compliments I think that I can give your team is you seem like you all play for one another. That you don't necessarily care who scores, but it's more important that we score. How do you develop that as a group?
We just make sure we're passing the ball in practice. We're playing unselfish because assists are better than points. You know, we like to move the ball around.
Well, Christian, congratulations, 13 points. Our player of the game tonight on the Game of the Week on My 4, and congratulations on the 4-0 start.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Have a great night, and happy holidays to you. Let's take a look, Steve, here at the final stats of this game. And when you talk about the final stats here, you look where at made field goals, right? 20-12.
Well, if you had to sit down before the game and you said, hey, look, Shen, Colonie's going to make 12 baskets, and they're going to make 5 threes out of those 12, you're going to feel great. I mean, 6 for 10 from the free throw line. Colonie not getting there as much, but Shen not getting there a ton more. You feel good if you're Shen. They're a good team. They're going to get better. They're going to be dangerous. They're going to be in contention for a sectional championship this year. They have so many different weapons. If you're Colonie, it's one game, you put it away. Colonie's not done. They're going to get better, too.
I was going to say, I mean, Shen looked terrific tonight, but I still think I see enough out of Greg Davis's team from Colonie that it's a long season. He'll make the necessary corrections.
And he's got the right players, and he's got the right staff in place, and they're going to get better. They're not going to be feeling great for Christmas, but that's okay because you want to be feeling good in February.
I want to remind everybody that every one of our high school basketball games of the week you can find on our WNYT YouTube channel and WNYT.com. And I know a lot of coaches. Last week I got a call from Coach Saz after the Skenta game. He said, "Hey, where can I watch the game with my team so we can make some corrections?" And right there's the information. We'll let everybody know it's on the WNYT YouTube channel. All right, your final thoughts on this one, Steve, coming in. I think we were hoping for maybe a closer game, but Shen just played too well tonight.
I thought they played well. They found rhythm. They found each other. Again, the best compliment, as I told Christian, for Shen right now, they are so incredibly unselfish, and that makes them so incredibly more dangerous than other teams who might not share the basketball like they do.
Steve, nice working with you again, my friend. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas to you and
Merry
your
Christmas.
family. Glad everything's working out on the home front there as well. And that will put the wraps on tonight's high school game of the week. Happy holidays to an entire crew here on My 4. And the final score, Shenendahoa 55, Colonie 35. We'll see you next time on our game of the week after the first of the year.